And this is my dad's 1957 Ford Fairlane 500, unrestored, and it's a special car to me. I'm Russell. Welcome to Russell's Garage. Cars are so big, but they don't make them for big guys. I don't know what in 57 the size the people were, because I'm not that large of a guy, but this steering wheel's huge. This is their air conditioning back in the day, right air, left air, which is you open it up, you get vents blowing air at it. Definitely wasn't set up for a Florida car. Then you can roll that down. I've always been impressed about this vehicle is how it rides and drives for as old as it is being original. I've driven in newer cars that don't ride as nice as this car does.
Big float.
Yeah. And the only thing is the braking system's not as good as this car. I do have an exhaust leak I gotta fix.
This from the manifold.
Yeah, the bolt. I noticed down in the back when the other day I was looking at it, the bolt broke off the exhaust manifold. But that's some of the things that are going to come up on the channel. I'm going to be resealing the whole motor, and because of the leaks from just over the age, you know, gaskets are only usually rated for 5 years. So it's probably been 20 years since that motor was redone. So I'm going to go through the motor and seal it up. And the brakes, I got to redo all the brakes on them. So in the future, you're going to see a lot of stuff coming up on this. We got to go through the braking system on it. Just take care of some leaks we have from age on it. The wheel cylinders leak a little. The engine's got some leaks. So make sure you look for that coming up. Well, I don't drive it that often. When I do, I take it up to shows. I belong to a car cruise in here in Lakeland called Lakeland Cruisers, and they meet every Friday. I don't always have every Friday off, so I try to get up there as much as possible. But I don't really cruise it. The farthest I've taken this is all the way up to Ocala, which is 200 miles and 2 tanks of gas, because it only gets about 8 miles to the gallon. But it had no issues. When I brought these back from Michigan, I took it off the trailer, and it was in March, so it had salt and stuff on it, and I washed this car, and I took it down to the car show and won Best of Show that night, washing it with distill.
Want this window up?
I'll roll it up.
Okay. Yep.
It's hard with this front end trying to judge It's a 1957 Ford Fairlane 500. It's got a 292 Y block in it, the Thunderbird motor. Everyone always thinks that it came out of a Thunderbird, but that was the name of the motor back in the 57s that they put in all of the 50 Airs, Fairlanes, and Thunderbirds.
Okay, and it's your dad's car?
Yeah, my dad's car.
And Original paint?
The paint was the car was repainted in about 35 years ago.
And then what about the color? Like, so is that the original color to your knowledge?
It's the original color. It's the original Ford color code for the car. White and green is the color of the car.
Okay. And when you hear it, it sounds awesome. Is that like we were talking earlier, and you said there was nothing done to the engine, so it's just a pair of cherry bombs, pretty much.
Yeah, it's a pair of cherry bombs. These cars came factory in '57 with dual exhaust.
Okay.
And the motor is 100% original. It's only been hardened valves put in it for unleaded gas. It's been switched over to run unleaded.
And then the chrome, which is in beautiful shape for this car.
That's original. It's never been
so
re-chromed.
It's never been re-chromed or anything. So your dad took care of this car. Like, was this his pride and joy?
This was his pride and joy.
So now, did he buy it new?
He bought this car when he was 19, and he sold it. And then he found it in Wyoming. Many years later, the same car, and bought it back.
Okay.
So
that's crazy.
Yeah, he always wanted his Fairlane back. His favorite movie was Thunder Road.
Right.
And this car is in Thunder Road. And he had it when he was 19. He used to watch that movie all the time.
And some of the cool things with this car, if we look, is the fenders right here. So where you have the, you know, everybody's used to having the mirrors here.
Right.
But back in the 50s and earlier, there was no, now it's, I think it's a requirement by the federal highway that they be up here. But people used to put them up there all the time.
Well, you had an option. You could have got the mirrors here, but this was a more stylish option. This car in 1957 outsold the 57 Chevy. It was the first year Ford actually outsold Chevy, and it was an ambassador car over in England, I do believe. I have the Ford Times that says about the 57 being the ambassador car for American.
And of course, it has more chrome on it than the more chrome on the steering wheel actually than in the rest of it. And is that, what is that?
That down there,
yeah,
that's a tissue box. You know, you could get them with like an 8-track player or something back in the day, or the tissue box.
Or you got the tissue box.
Yeah, they just don't make tissue sizes anymore that can fit in there.
And
for the thin.
And you also said that the AM radio in here still works.
Yeah.
So
you let the tubes warm up.
Right. So it's a tube.
Yeah.
And it's got a definitely the stylish, distinguishable 1950s rear window, everything. Now, do these windows go down?
Yeah. See, this is considered a two-door post.
Okay, so it has a post.
The hardtop wouldn't have this, and the windows roll down.
So this is the post.
But this is the post.
I will just verify for you that the radio did come on, but we don't have copyright on it, so you can hear. We played a half a second just to show you it worked. And these things are solid. That door weighs more than a Hyundai. So here is, and so Thunderbird is not out of a Thunderbird. That was
the motor. It's the motor series that they had. They called these Y blocks the Thunderbird motor.
And then the air filter here was an oil-based air filter, right?
No, this isn't. This is just a regular.
Oh, it is. Okay, because they had the oil-based ones that were big like this that had an oil in them.
Yeah, they had them. This one isn't that type. It's just a standard air filter.
Okay.
So it's got a 2-barrel carb.
Now, how hard is it to find the air cleaners for these? Pretty easy.
The air cleaner, I can pick up an air cleaner to change it fairly.
Or the
easy.
filter, I meant. Yeah.
The filter, yeah, I can get the filter.
Okay.
Fairly easy. It's funny because I had to get a new carburetor for this. Because it didn't have the original. The carburetor's changed in the 60s. So it has a 60s Ford Motorcraft carb in it. Okay. I actually got it from Rock Auto.
And then, of course, this has the tilt, the front tilt, similar to the Corvette of the 53, which this was kind of not all that uncommon in the 50s, because a lot of cars from Jaguars, a lot of your cars had these. The Lincoln Continental, I believe, also had this. So
I think 58 Fairlane is where they changed it, and it opened up what everyone else is used to, a normal way of hood opening.
Because you got to remember, this was the first generation of car before they had the cows that they would lift up, kind of like the car he has in there, which is a, what is that, a
29.
29. So back then they actually would lift each on the side. So there was all kinds of experimentation going at the time.
This is
So-
also the first year for the Ford 9-inch rear end. 57 was the first year that the Ford 9-inch.
And does this has one or no?
The 9-inch. Yeah.
Okay.
This was the first year. So if you've ever had a car like this or interested about more, leave some comments down. I'm interested to hear from you guys, and I appreciate you guys. And you know, hit the bell if you like what you see here. Subscribe, like, share, subscribe. Thanks. See you on the next one.